The summarization features in Comet represent probably one of the most powerful, and I think what will probably be one of the most widely used capabilities in the browser. And it's going to transform how you and I consume and process online content. The assistance summarization functionality, it's deeply integrated into the browsing experience and accessible through a multitude of different ways. Let's start with web articles and pages. I'm going to click on my news link up here, and I am going to go to, let's go to Newsit, because Newsit is what I use. Let's block that. I don't want that. And this is a news summarization site, and let's pick something. Well, I don't know if any of this really looks interesting. Let's take a look here and see. Let's just pick this first one. Justice Department, whatever the case here. Okay, let's see if there's a lot of text here. And actually, let's pick one that's a little meatier. Let's go back and let's close that. And let's go to, we'll go to this article here. Climate change is increasing the risk of rapidly intensifying storms. At the time of this recording, there's a very powerful hurricane off the east coast of the United States. I don't think it's going to hit the United States. It's going to go north. Now, so this is a somewhat lengthy article here. Not overly long, but maybe not something I want to read. There's a button up here. Now, I don't know why they don't put it down in the assistant itself, but up here, there is a button called Summarize the Current Web Page. Okay, I'm going to do that. And now, summarize the current web page, and that's exactly what it's doing. And now you can see that it's taken this article here and summarized it into maybe 5 different bullet points with a main takeaway. So the main takeaway is that warmer ocean temperatures and moist atmosphere fueled by climate change are making storms intensify faster and becoming more dangerous. Okay, so this is a very nice way to do a brief summarization of some article. And really the reason I find this useful is I don't necessarily know if I'm going to find the article useful. And it might be normally a 10 to 15 minute read. Sometimes when you bring up an article in your browser, it'll say, hey, this is a 10-minute read or a 15-minute read. And I don't know that I necessarily want to spend 10 to 15 minutes reading an article that I may not even find interesting. But having the assistant summarize this for us, I can look at the key points and then decide, yeah, maybe I do want to read this article. Now, once I have a summary done on a web page, for example, there's a couple things I can do. I can share the link with someone. I can save this query as a shortcut on the home page of the browser. Or I can, say, yeah, this is helpful, this is not helpful. I don't know that really has any use. I doubt anybody ever looks at that. I can copy this, which is kind of nice because I can paste it into some other document if I want to, or an email. And then I can, if I want, I can view the sources, or I can report this as offensive in some way, whatever the case might be. Okay, so this actually shows, for example, how to do a basic summarization of a web page. Now, I can click on sources, and of course, this article, it was just a single source, and this is the source of the article here. So nothing really new here. But if I had asked it to do some general research, it may have pulled together 10, 15, 20, 30, or 40 different citations, and you could list those sources here in this page. Then there is there's a steps option, which is basically showed how it went about doing the research that it did. So one step, summarizing the main points of the web page to highlight how climate change impacts storm intensity and so on. Okay, I tried something interesting here. I had it do, I gave it a command down here. I said, summarize this article again and provide links to the original document of the key points found. Now, it didn't apparently understand what I was asking for because it basically gave me this same summary with a link back to the original document. And then I simply said I wanted links to the key points from the article, and then it did a little bit better job. So it basically, so here's one key point, Hurricane Aaron's rapid intensification You can read about Hurricane Aaron's current status and intensification here. Okay, so that does provide a link. And then storms sustain wind speed of at least 35 within 24 hours. Now, this actually is not a link to the article itself, but it is a link to something on the National Hurricane Center's site. And that's kind of an interesting twist here. It didn't really give me what I asked for, but it did give me something sort of interesting. And then this climate change link, warmer sea area surface, blah, blah, blah. And then a link to NBC analysis of climate and rapid intensification. A scientific study of 2023 showed that cyclones were about 29% more likely to rapidly intensify. This came from the Journal of Scientific Reports and so on. So the key point here is that you can have it do a summarization, and then you can follow that up with additional questions about the article. And then, you might get lucky. And like this, in this case, I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but it did provide some, if I was doing a research paper on this, or if I just wanted to do deeper research, these links would actually be quite useful. Now you can see here how useful this summarization can be, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the National Hurricane Center's advisories and definition. Now this opens up another page in the browser, and then you can see this is Hurricane Aaron Public Advisory, and this is a long document in a small font, and this would be an ideal document to summarize. I'm going to summarize this and hopefully get a boiled down version of this. Okay, Hurricane Aaron is currently a Category 4. That's pretty powerful. Here's where the center is. Here's the movement. Here's the forecasted track. Watches and warnings, key hazards. Now this, you can see, is much, much preferable than reading this entire document. Okay, so now doing summaries like this in Perplexity is not new. Perplexity has supported this for a long time. And what's nice about the fact that Perplexity supports multiple models underneath the hood is that we've gone through all the various models that it supports, and there may be more models than we're even aware of, including 2 of its own. It decides, based on what you ask it to do, which model is best suited to provide the feature or the functionality that you're looking for. It could be, for example, that maybe one of Anthropic's models does a much better job of summarizing web pages and documents than Google's Gemini. So it would automatically pass this through to one of Anthropic's models. So you can see the power behind this. It's just amazing. And this is and to be able to do all of this in your browser, I mean, I can see a very realistic situation where I spend most of my day in the browser with regards to doing research, instead of bouncing maybe from Perplexity, and maybe I need to go to ChatGPT to do this, and another model to do this. Everything now is just all encompassed inside of Comet.